on the inside. Martin Dugard for Eastbourne in white. Gary Havelock for Poole in red. It's Paul Hurry for Eastbourne in yellow. Lars Gunnarstad for Poole in blue. Remember the home riders, that's the Poole men wear the red and the blue helmet colours throughout the meeting. The men from Eastbourne wear white and yellow and black. As usual, Peter Collins alongside me. Peter, this promises to be a great meeting.
Yeah, big night tonight, no doubt about it, Tony. And if Eastbourne want to win the league, they've really got to win matches like this. But Poole here at home, what an exciting team they are. Poole will be doing their utmost to win this here at home tonight.
We see Lars Gunnarstad there, who goes from the outside in this one. This gate choice may be crucial. It will mean, of course, that Eastbourne get gates 1 and 3 in the vital heat 13. Or rather, Poole get the gates 1 and 3 in heat 13. That could really count. They line up. Our start marshal is Mike Berry there in the checkered jacket. Our referee, Barry Richardson, looks down. Away they go now. And it's Michael into the first bend. First goes Martin Dugard. Lars Gunnarstad in blue. Picks it up on the outside. Havelock's chasing in red. Way at the back is Paul Hurry in yellow. But the absolutely perfect start by Martin Dugard has set this up for him. And he's going to take some parting from this point.
Yes, Gary Havelock's moved up into second place. Gary's very, very quick around the inside here. He's having a real go now at Martin Dugard, but Martin's riding a good line round the inside in here in heat 1.
Martin Dugard with half the race gone in the white helmet colours, heads in for Eastbourne. Gary Havelock, the captain for Poole, the two skippers first and second. Havelock takes a look back to see where his partner Lars Gunnarstad is. Paul Hurry's at the rear, but as it stands like this as they go to the final lap, it'll be a share of the points in heat number 1. And what looks like a superb heat victory from start to finish for Martin Dugard. Gary Havelock may not have given up in the red helmet there down the back straight, but round the top bend, Martin Dugard will take the checkered flag ahead of Gary Havelock and Lars Gunnarstad with Paul Hurry tailed off, and that's a split of the points and 3-all with just one heat gone. Perhaps a sign of things to come. 59.72, a little bit outside the track record of 58.47 held by Stefan Dano, but the checkered flag for Martin Dugard, a very, very welcome one, giving him heat victory here.
I'm a little bit damp in some places, apart from that it's quite nice.
Go ahead. Sorry, yeah, you obviously you were happy with taking 1 and 3, and you made it work for you there. Were you at all worried about Lars? Because Lars seemed to make a fantastic start from gate 4.
I could see someone there out the corner of my eye. I wasn't sure if it was Lars or Gary because they're pretty similar with the bike colours. And
sure.
I didn't really want
see
to
it here actually.
Yeah, it is a pretty good start from 4, isn't it? I just see him there. And,
don't give him too much credit now, will you?
Well, he's one of the best starters in the league.
He is.
And after that, I could hear someone, but I wasn't going to look behind to see who it was.
No. But you're happy with the way the bike ran in that race? Because, you know, obviously early on in the meeting, the dirt's going to be fairly near the inside line, and you sort of stuck fairly low, but your bike seemed to be working pretty good. Yeah, it's working fine at the moment. I've got a long time before I'm out again, so I might make 1 or 2 changes, but sometimes you go to a meeting and you don't make 1 change, and sure.
We're going to see how it goes.
Okay.
How are the boys feeling genuinely? We've been talking about the Poole Pirates, and obviously they're up for it tonight. They really would love to put one over on you. You've got the pressure on you, though. It's really on you now, isn't it?
Yeah, we're very close to being good contenders for the title at the moment. Kingsland aren't going to let us sit down, and I know that when they come here with Poole beat them as well, so we just don't want that to happen. We don't want to go to the last meeting of the year.
We do.
Yeah, perfect for TV, but it's not very good for us. I personally don't want to go to the last meeting of the year.
Having to win it.
Having to win it on your home track. There's nothing worse than if it all goes wrong.
And how important is this one compared to some of the others? Because obviously this has been an arch rivalry between the two of you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a speedway match. Even though it's local, as you can see, we're not the best loved speedway team in the league, whether that's me or whether that's everybody else. But yeah, we're ready to go, and we've got to make it all count.
All right, we'll let you get back to the pits, and we'll get back to Heat 2.
Then sees Alan Rossiter, the Poole reserve in red on the inside. Petri Coco, the Finn, goes for Eastbourne. Gate 2 in white. In Gate 3, it's Emil Lindquist in blue for Poole. And for Eastbourne, Mark Burrows, the guest in place of the absent pair west of the Swede, now back in Sweden. He got shaken up in a crash at Wolverhampton and really hasn't felt like riding since. Mark Burrows comes in. May find himself out of his depth a little bit here, but we'll have to wait and see. He's not having a bad season for Stoke. And man in red, though, is Alan Rossiter. I understand he's had a bit of a shoulder problem recently. Missed a few meetings as Alan Rossiter. And we got a signal there from the rider in white. That's Petri Coco wanting to see the start lights, but referee Barry Richardson demonstrates to him exactly well. Well, we've got riders like Gary Havelock, Craig Watson of Poole having a look at the action. They're all intense for both teams. And they're watching their men there. Alan Rossiter in red. And away for him behind the starting marshal in blue is Emil Lindquist. by the two Poole riders. In red, it's Alan Rossiter. In blue, coming through there, Emil Lindquist. And the Eastbourne man, the guest Mark Burrows, having to work at the back, and he's going to have to work very hard. But out front, Petri Coco showing a smooth talent into that first bend and showing why he's the highest scoring. And at the back, Emil Lindquist has packed up, and this will make a difference to the meeting. Tragedy, his engine disintegrating there. He will pull onto the side, and now a heat advantage is going to come the way of Eastbourne as they hold first and third places, Peter.
Yeah, Lindquist's clutch has totally disintegrated there. He did very, very well to stay on that bike as he lost all his drive. His clutch just flew into pieces, Tony.
Into the final lap with Petri Coco going to provide the second successive heat victory. A great start for Eastbourne. Back in second place, Alan Rossiter will get the consolation 2 points as it stretches out. Mark Burrows will get a somewhat fortunate point here, and Eastbourne will gain the heat advantage and will go into heat 3, heading the meeting here. Because that means that scoreline is 4 points to 2 in favour of the visitors from Eastbourne. It's now Poole 5, Eastbourne 7, with just 2 heats gone. The heat winner, Petri Coco there, the highest averaging reserve in the entire Elite League, and showing in that heat.
On the pits turn, that clutch and the chain, look at the sparks there. That is his primary chain there, rolling off, clutch plates as well, and that's the end of his chain guard and the end of the chain and the clutch.
It is scrap metal versions in by the crowd. On the inside, David Norris for Eastbourne goes in white. Craig Watson, the Aussie for Poole, goes in blue, gate 2. For Eastbourne, the Swede, Stefan Dano, the Grand Prix rider in yellow. On the outside, it's Scott Nichols, the Poole heat leader, who rises number 1 away from home. The Poole fans on the edge of their seats here, expecting Nichols and Watson to do something here. Remember, Eastbourne lead by 2.75, top left-hand corner of the screen as we keep you pace with the score here. Massive crowd here at the Wimborne Road Stadium. Probably the biggest to watch League Speedway in any single meeting this season. And there they are in the stand. Look at them. Expectation unlimited. Our starting margin is ready. Up by the post and away we go. And again, the Eastbourne man in white is David Norris. But look at the effort around the outside from Stefan Dano. Dano is the track record holder. Eastbourne now have 1 and 2. And Scott Nichols has work to do as he almost locks up at the back. But what a ride by Stefan Dano around the outside.
Yeah, Dano is flying, there's no doubt, but just look at Scott Nichols. He's really having to go on the outside. There's some grip getting out there, but now he's dived to the inside. He's a little bit wet still early on the outside there, but Nichols is having a real go in third place, Tony.
Well, this is a real bonus for Eastbourne with Stefan Dano out front, because the Swede, it's only his third meeting for Eastbourne this season, and look at the way he's going with a lap and a quarter to go, shadowed by his teammate David Norris. Oh, problem to Scott Nichols at the back. He's packed up now to leave only his colleague Craig Watson to continue. This is a disaster at the moment for Poole, and this is a maximum heat victory for Eastbourne, because Stefan Dano in yellow takes the checkered flag ahead of his teammate and partner David Norris in white. Cruising across the line, Craig Watson in blue. A 5-point-to-1 margin in favour of Eastbourne, who now lead by 12 points to 6 for visitors, and Stefan Dano's time of exactly 60 seconds, maybe a little way outside his own track record here.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to start this way, and I had a good gate, and the bike felt really good, so...
You certainly impressed Calvin off the start, that was sure.
I did. The previous race, the guy off Paul Harry off gate 3 made a really bad start actually, and you made a brilliant one. But you're the track record holder here, Stefan. You must enjoy this track.
Yeah, it's nice again to begin a meeting like this. Now I can keep working on to set the bike up even better to the next race. So.
Going to be even faster, are you?
I hope so. Yeah.
They've missed you in England. How are you enjoying racing back here?
Oh, it's very nice to be back, and hopefully next year I would like to come back and do a year in England again, because I've had 2 years a bit quiet of racing now, so I would look forward to come back.
All right, good.
All right.
Well, we'll hope to see you. We'll let you get back to the pits.
Good start.
Susie's
Nice
in the
ride.
pits. She's got Scott Nichols with her.
Yeah, well done to Stefan, but not such good news for Scott. What happened out there, mate?
I think my engine went to the toilet, so just started slowing up. We could feel it slowing, and then I went in that corner slows when he crazed behind me, and when I got in the middle of the corner, it just totally stopped. So bit of a nightmare, but just have to jump on the other bike now, and hopefully that one will be up to it.
Okay, Scott, when you're in a situation like you are, when you're sixth in the Elite League table, somewhere where you're not used to it being, but what's your motivation tonight to beat Eastbourne?
Well, I mean, they're at the top, so obviously, you know, it'll be a big boost for us if we can go out and beat the league leaders. You know, we're capable of doing it. We definitely are. Like you said, you know, it's probably a bit of a surprise for us to be down in sixth, to be fair. But you know, just we had a bit of bad luck. You know, just then, you know, there was a bit of bad luck, and you know, things haven't really been going our way, to be honest. But you know, like I say, tonight, if we can beat Eastbourne tonight, that'll be a big boost for us and do our confidence a lot of good.
Thanks, Scott. Well, good luck in your next year. Hope things go a lot better. Sorry.
Coco for Eastbourne goes in yellow from the inside. Emil Lindquist for Poole goes from gate 2. Joe Screen, the Grand Prix rider for Eastbourne, goes in white from gate 3. Mark Laram from the outside. But a significant move, Peter, here. Petri Coco coming in for Mark Burrows. Tactical moves by the Eastbourne management.
Yeah, the way Coco's going tonight, I think he's going to be real busy. There's no doubt he's going to be taking some extra rides. Going to be very tough, though, because Joe Screen, Mark Laram, they're going to be the front runners in this one, I think, Tony.
Well, of course, we see Joe Screen and Mark Laram next to each other as we look at that line. Joe Screen in white, Mark Laram in a red. There are the two protagonists, two of the team that will represent England or Great Britain in the World Team Cup in 3 weeks' time. And also, of course, both will be at Voyance this Saturday when we bring you the Grand Prix, the penultimate Grand Prix. It promises to be quite a battle between these two. Joe Screen has a staggering 89 points in his last 6 away meetings. That is something pretty special.
Yeah, Screen is suffering from a real bad dose of flu, though. He's had it for about 5 days, and he still looks very weak. So let's see if it affects him in this race, Tony. His first one tonight.
Well, we'll have to wait to see. Been piling up the points away on the road. Nearly 15 points average for the last 6 meetings away. Our starting marshal now sets them underway. Mark Clymer takes it away. They go, and it's Joe Screen that makes it to the first bend. Mark Laram now has typical work to do from the back. Back in third place is Petri Coco for Eastbourne, who's taking on Laram and sending Laram wide. Tailed off at the rear is Emil Lindquist, but Laram will have work to do now to chase Joe Screen and could open a gap for Coco in third place. And another bike failure. Emil Lindquist for Poole at the back drops out of this one, and Mark Laram out front though is putting on a typical move against Joe Screen. A battle of two of Britain's top riders. This is tremendous stuff.
Fantastic riding from Laram. Look at those long straights he's making. He just seems to pull back another metre on Screeny every time, but Screeny seems to have eyes in the back of his head, but he's going to need them, Tony.
Into the final lap, but Screen is holding him off. Laram is trying the inside. He tries the outside. Here he goes to the cheers of the fans here in Wimborne Road. This man thrills them aplenty. Yards to go. Joe Screen wins it though, heading off Mark Laram in second place. Third place goes to Petri Coco. Another 4 points to 2. Heat margin in favour of Eastbourne. It's now Poole 8, Eastbourne 16, which opens the door to tactical replacements. Joe Screen has provided a 4th successive heat winner for Eastbourne here. The league leaders are flying ahead of Mark Laram. Petri Coco in second place. It means a 4 points to 2.
We know Mark likes the outside. There he is, trying to go round Screeny as they come onto the start and finish straight there. Screeny just closes the door there, stops Mark coming through. Joe goes very, very quick into the corner. Mark has to go a little bit wider than he wants to be. Just locks up too much there. Mark tries that inside now. We know Mark can go real fast down the inside. Decides not to go up the inside of Joe because Joe is going very, very quick. Joe's riding the middle of the circuit. He's got eyes in the back of his head, just trying to ride where he thinks that Mark Laram's going to be. But with 1 lap to go, it was still really close. Laram again trying the outside, and he never, never gives up, Mark Laram.
Well, Mark Laram didn't give up. Joe Screen didn't. If that's a man with flu, well, heaven help a man that's had.
Yeah, so far the Eagles are taking off and left us, I think, at the moment. But you know,
Check you out.
yeah, at the moment. But you know, it's early days yet, and boys get settled in. There's a few people changing bikes, and hopefully we'll turn it around a bit. It's not very good at the moment.
Yeah, Barry from one man Barry Briggs, of course, who knows all about Speedway.
Oh, yeah.
Any top tips for these guys?
No, Mark's got it all sussed. I mean, so there's not a lot of dirt to pass on tonight, and Mark was using every bit of track and a little bit of grip, and he would have been gone, but it wasn't there.
And 1 and 3 was a pretty good gate choice by Martin Dugard early on, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Dugard was. When he's at the front, he can run whatever he wants. But this is the boy from the behind for the public like to see.
Yes, we know all about Mark and he's behind and all that kind of stuff. Now, Barry, the reason why you're here tonight is something special going on the 13th of September?
Yeah, we're running a Golden Greats meeting here, and I've thrown down the gauntlet that I can beat Mark. Which sounds, yeah, see, you think it's funny as well.
Is that right? Is that so you two guys are going to have a race, are you?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the funny little white men in the coach to come and take the old boy away.
Oh, you're hearing it all here first. So, okay, who else is going to be riding then?
We've got Peter Collins, the world champion, obviously.
I don't know who Peter Collins is.
Super Simo, got Nordin, who's second in the world final, the Swede. We've got, God, help me out, Mark.
Michael Lee.
Yeah, we've got Michael Lee, world champion. And we've got a lot of the lads we haven't announced yet. We'll be announcing next week.
Oh, it sounds like it's going to be a really good night. So it's on the 13th of September, and what time does it kick off?
7:30. Yeah.
7:30. Yeah, that sounds really good. Are you looking forward to that, Mark?
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, it was, like I say, it's good to see the old boys back in action, and believe me, they go a lot quicker than you give them credit for.
Well, one of the old boys, Peter Collins, who we know, of course, so well, is going to be riding. And Tony, let's go and speak to them. Peter, are you looking forward to that night?
I am, Susie, yes. I'm not really one of the old boys, you know. I retired very, very young.
Well, Peter Collins to Scott Nichols for Poole. Paul Hurry, the man adjusting his goggles, goes in yellow, gate 2. Gate 3 for Poole, the Aussie, Craig Watson. Are on the outside, the Eastbourne captain, Martin Dugard. Martin, of course, won from the inside gate first time out. Now he has a go at the outside gate, and I just wonder how much difference that will make to him. Will it make any difference to Martin, Peter?
Well, the track's changed, Tony, now. The inside isn't the quickest line now, so Martin will have to change his strategy. If he makes the start, he'll perhaps have to ride a bit wider.
Well, he's certainly having a great season, Martin Dugard, at the moment. So too is this man, Scott Nichols, in red, bar the retirement first time out. Our referee up above is Barry Richardson. The starting marshal is Mike Berry, who walks away up by the Saints and away on the inside. In red goes Scott Nichols, but look at Dugard. Once again, Martin Dugard has come white across from the outside, down the back straight, and now the flyer from Sussex is going to take some catching here, although Scott Nichols is out in pursuit, but Paul Hurry is packing in, and if it stayed like this, Eastbourne would establish a 10-point advantage. Peter, it's going very much their way.
Yeah, Eastbourne seems to be running away with it at the moment, but you see Martin Dugard, he is now riding much, much wider than he did in Heat 1, but he's coming under a lot of pressure from Scott Nichols here in the red helmet.
Martin Dugard down the back straight with a lap and a half to go, but the valuable presence of his teammate Paul Hurry in third. But look at Nichols! Nichols and Dugard lying abreast. Dugard comes back. Nichols will have a go again. Nichols will pull away. Dugard will race him down the back straight. What a battle is flying here! Dugard, Nichols locks up. Dugard will now win this. Oh, what a ride for Martin Dugard in white ahead of Scott Nichols in red. Paul Hurry in yellow. 4 points to 2 to Eastbourne, but the boos of the crowd, but the riders shake hands. That was true speedway at its best. It may have got the boos from the crowd, but they knew that it was winner take all. Applause from some of them. Martin Dugard near sensational in that one. Another 4 points to 2 win for Eastbourne, who provide their 5th successive heat winner and now lead by 20 points to 10.
Here we can see Scotty is right on the inside and he pulls alongside Martin Dugard, but Martin has just got a bigger radius on the corner. He's just able to drop that bike down in front of Scott Nichols and just stop him coming through. It looks as though Scott's going to go by here. They race into the bottom turn here. It's all or nothing on the bottom turn, but Scott Nichols just loses the back end, locks up and loses a lot of speed.
Martin Dugard the winner, but Scott Nichols providing the action. He's in the studio with Jonathan and Kelvin.
Yeah, well, brilliant race, Scott. Just what we want, but you came out the worst, but it was close.
Yeah, thought I had a line on him a couple of times. He just had the edge on me going in, and fair play mine. He's a hard rider, and he weren't budging. He jogged on me hard, and so put me on the grass up there. I thought I was going back my grass straight days for a minute.
So you shook his hand, so you must have thought it was a fair fight.
Yeah, I mean, I give him a good run, and he was not moving, which that's what it's about. It's good. You can have a good hard race to somebody, and it's fair. I mean, he weren't giving, and I was not giving, and just be glad he got the better deal though.
Yeah.
You changed bikes, obviously your spare bike was working pretty decent.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of trouble with the heads on my engines just lately, and think the first one dropped the valve seat, so
Oh dear.
so I had no option, but luckily
Sure.
this one seems to be working good. So.
Earlier in the race, you were sort of trying to follow him and sort of like square the corner off, but you took a chance and dropped down to the inside, and all of a sudden you seem to be getting, well, surprisingly, you seem to be getting that bit of drive off the corner to nearly pass him.
Yeah, well, you know, there weren't enough for me to go round him, and he's riding a good race, so I had to try and follow him a little bit, but try and stay out of his dirt.
Sure, here we see here.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I managed to just cut back, saw he was wide, and I thought I've got no other choice, and
Yep.
I managed to get a good run, and I mean, you can see he rode a good race there. He just put me on the curb, but there's some grip around the line here, and I thought I was going to get him, but...
Yeah. It looked to me, actually, like that you were going to get by him here, and down this back straight, it looks like you are actually in front of him.
Yeah, I sort of was, but I mean, he just had the leg just enough to get his leg across my bike, and I could have turned harder, but I'd have put him through the fence, so I couldn't, you know.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because he lived to tell another tale, but and he's with Susie Perry.
Sure.
Martin Dugard.
That's right.
Susie Perry, back over to you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Ooh, that was a close one.
Yeah, it was.
Did you? They looked at one point where Scott was just slightly ahead of you. It looked like he had you, but there was no way, was there?
No, I looked over my right shoulder coming off the turn and was very surprised to see Scott there. And when he's on your tail, it's hard work to get rid of him. And to be fair to him, he did pass me. And I just went along the straight with him. And with a bit of luck with Scott, he's a racer and he's going to give me enough room, and he has done in the past. And it was very tight, especially from where I was.
It was pretty tight watching it too, and especially because he's on his spare bike. So the heat of the night for sure tonight. But 2010, you can't have expected to be so far ahead at this point.
We're not counting anything at the moment. We want to go and win the league, and if it means that we're this far in front now, we're going to be. And we just got to keep it going. It's a long way to the end of the meeting, and we can't afford for anything to go wrong. They've had all the bad luck at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, well, let you get back to your bike.
Eastbourne. Next to him, Lars Gunnestad in blue for Poole. Lars Gunnestad, who got a third place behind his teammate last time out. Mark Burrows for Eastbourne goes from gate 3 in yellow, and on the outside, it's the Poole captain, Gary Havelock, in the red helmet colours. Gary Havelock, a second place first time out, and Joe Screen perfect with a heat victory. But the others have a bit to do.
Yeah, we'll just see what Gary Havelock can do off gate 4, because it's a long way down to that first corner from the outside. Joe Screen's on gate 1, but the rider in yellow there, Mark Burrows, is pretty close to have his starting position, and the starting marshal possibly could move him there, because he is right on the limit. And there we see the start marshal doesn't like that, which is fair enough, because his arm, his shoulder and his elbow is over on Gary Havelock's side. Although Javi is right up against the fence, it's still not the correct thing to do. So he's going to move over a little bit. So now we're waiting for him.
Well, Mark Burrows perhaps the spoiler in this one, because it will be a major surprise were he to finish ahead of any of the other 3 in this race. But Joe Screen in the white helmet colours there, nearest to camera, looking sharp, and certainly looking as if he can provide a 6th successive heat victory for Eastbourne. That will be a shot. Away goes our starting marshal. Up fly the tapes, and Screen flies at the inside. Burrows gets through on the inside. Havelock has to go round the outside, picks up 3rd place, but Havelock is going to be done here because his teammate Lars Gunnestad comes through, frightens Burrows, sees him off here and picks it up in 2nd place. But now with Joe Screen way out front, it's only the minor placings that Poole can compete for, and a major surprise as Burrows lifts spectacular in the extreme. He's rough, he's ready, but he's a moment still heading Gary Havelock, but Havelock at the back now goes through there in the red helmet colours to pick up 3rd place and could earn a share of the points. But Joe Screen out front with a lap and a quarter to go.
Yeah,
He's way out front.
Another dominating ride from Screeny here out in front, but Mark Burrows certainly had a few moments there when he was holding on for that 2nd place, but Joe Screen riding very quick. Lars Gunnestad in second, Gary Havelock back in 3rd.
Well, for the 2nd time tonight, the home team Poole will get a share of the points in this one. But Joe Screen's checkered flag means a 6th successive heat winner for Eastbourne, with Poole packing into the minor places with Lars Gunnestad 2nd and Gary Havelock in 3rd place. That's 3-all, which means that Eastbourne lead by 23 points to 13. But Gary Havelock had to do it from the back. He was slowly away, and the heat winner was Joe Screen in white.
Right, Tony, this is the gate. Now, Joe Screen off gate 1. Look at that dirt that he's thrown up against the camera into the first turn. His back wheel's just on the grip, but still down low. Look at Buzz Burrows come in there, pushed Lars Gunnestad out the way, but Again, Gunnestad comes back at him, dives in the inside. Now Burrows really holds his ground here. They clash in the middle of the turn. Burrows still hanging on. Again, there's another clash. Burrows almost goes down, but that allows Gunnestad to get into second place. But Burrows again is hanging on to that third place and really frightening Gary Havelock. Gary's just at the back there, and look at that where Gunnestad catches Burrows' front wheel. Burrows nearly went down, but again Burrows is riding, hanging on to that third place, and look at that wheelie there. Gary Havelock, I'm sure at the back there, was thinking about pulling over and just letting him go, because that was some frightening situation. But again, Gary just bided his time and just sneaked back past Burrows, but again screening out in front, dominating this heat.
Well, our Grand Prix rider and heat winner Joe Screen is with Susie Perry.
Yeah, thanks Tony. Joe, I know you're not very well. You've got a bit of a dose at the moment, haven't you?
Dose? I haven't got a dose.
The flu?
Oh yeah, got the flu. I've had it a couple of days. Then it was a bit easy. I didn't have Mark right on my backside chasing me. And, you know, I could just ease along, but that first race just killed me. Just shaking and sweating and coughing. And...
Well, the first heat killed you, but you won that heat and you've just gone out and won another heat.
Yeah, I'm glad I've got a few heats rest now, and the team's going good as well, so I don't have to put me in a tactical, but you know, the Hagen shock Jow is going good.
So are you taking your vitamins to make yourself feel a bit better?
It's hard, you know, you can't really take too much in Speedway because of the drug test, so yesterday I just had a few hot toddies and stayed in bed all day and tried to sweat it out of me yesterday, and you know, I feel a little bit better today, but I shouldn't be here really, but I've got to give it a go. Eastbourne, you know, they're close to winning the league now and I can't let them down now.
Well Joe, I mean, I think Eastbourne will be very glad you're here tonight, as you've got two first places and could end up even with a maximum tonight perhaps.
I don't think so, not the way Mark and Gary and Lars go around here and Scott, so I'll be happy. Last time I came down here I started off with pretty straight wins and went a bit pear-shaped towards the end, but the old Jow's going good tonight, and you know, we'll see what happens.
Joe, I mean, you've had a storming season so far. God, don't die on me. I mean, the last 6 meetings you've scored almost 90 points. That's phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's my season's changed around since sort of I've changed a few things, and you know, my sponsors have kept behind me. You know, Ryan Hagen from Hagen Shocks, he sort of kept behind me and pushed me, and you know, it's sort of picking up now. You know, I wish my season started about a month ago. You know, I've got the Grand Prix coming up now and I'm up for that one, so we'll see how we go.
All right, well, you get yourself better for that. Let's go to the next heat now. Peter and Tony, over to you guys.
Heat number 7, Mark Laram goes to Poole for the inside. David Norris for Eastbourne, gate 2 in white. Scott Nichols is in as a tactical substitute for Alan Rossiter in gate 3. And on the outside, Stefan Dano, already a heat winner for Eastbourne. This is going to be tough. This could be a first heat victory for Poole, with a pair of Mark Laram in the red helmet colours there, and Scott Nichols in blue will have a great chance of perhaps putting a 5-1 back here. There is Scott Nichols. Of course, he's struggled a bit so far. Of course, in a retirement and a second place, Scott Nichols. But I've got a feeling, Peter, they could get a maximum here, Paul.
And I've got a feeling we're going to see some fireworks in this one, Tony.
Oh, let's hope for it. We could see the action. Here we go on the inside. Mark Laram coming across is Scott Nichols. It's Poole 1 and 2. But look at Stefan Dano in third place. Now coming through in white is David Norris. They're going to mount the challenge. But look at the two Poole riders out front. Scott Nichols, the tactical substitute in blue. Mark Laram in red. Eastbourne's pairing here of Norris in white, Dano in yellow are going to struggle to catch these, and this could close the gap to 6 points and still leave the tactical option open going in heat number 8, so that Poole could clear the gap. But round they go with a lap and a half to go now. Scott Nichols, the tactical substitution of team manager Neil Middleditch, playing off with a vengeance.
Yeah, this is more like it for Poole. This will put them back in the match. Well, 6 points down anyway, but everything to race for and put some fire back in this.
Well, if it stays like this, it'll be a 5-1 to Poole, and that will close the gap. And they could bring a double tactical in and close it completely almost in the next one. But there we go, a maximum heat victory for the Poole riders. The tactical substitution pulling exactly as they hoped. The crowd are absolutely delighted with this one. Scott Nichols and Mark Laram. The Eastbourne supporters won't be quite so happy, but it was a great heat victory. Some good team riding. They packed together. They kept the Eastbourne men up for substitution, and Mark Laram's that man in blue. Next to him is Mark Burrows, the Eastbourne reserve, and guest in yellow. In gate 3, it's Lars Goodestad in red for Poole, and on the outside for Eastbourne, in yellow and black, that's actually Mark Burrows on the outside and not Paul Hurry. Paul Hurry is in white. That's Paul Hurry in white, making by Mark Burrows in yellow. There we see the man in yellow, Mark Burrows, so competitive in his other two rides so far, the guest from Stoke. But in red, Lars Gunnerstad is there. Mark Laram goes in blue. He's on the inside gate and should on form win this. Starting Marshall moves away. They fly. Lars Gunnerstad flies from the start. Mark Laram is with him. The tactical substitution could work to perfection here. Laram has been put under pressure by Paul Hurry. Burrows is at the back. The two riders for Poole are in front. It'll be a 5-1 and close the gap to 2 points if it stays like this. But certainly the ability to team ride will count. And Paul Hurry and Mark Burrows aren't going to catch these two now, Peter.
Yeah, well, I thought Eastbourne were running away with this match, but now this puts Poole right back within 2 points of Eastbourne, and a great bit of team riding here from the Poole boys.
Out front in blue at the moment is Mark Laram. Lars Gunnerstad is the rider in red. Eastbourne fans are cheering for Paul Hurry, who's trying to put them under some pressure in 3rd place. They're spread across the track with a lap to go. In blue, Mark Laram is a tactical substitute. Neil Middleditch's tactics are working because the Poole riders are going to get a maximum heat victory here and close the margin to 2 with all to race for. The checkered flag goes to the rider in blue, Mark Laram. His teammate and partner, Lars Gunnerstad, in 2nd place. Paul Hurry in white. That's a 5 points to 1 margin in favour of Poole. The tactical substitution working to perfection. And now just 2 points in it. Eastbourne lead by 25 points to 23.
You know, they'd run away with it a bit to start with, and we needed to do something. And obviously me and Scott and then me and Larsy pulled it back for us. It's just hope the rest of the boys can hold it now.
Are you riding well? Do you feel good out there?
Yeah, I feel all right. I've got all my motors are obviously freshed up for the Grand Prix, and they're a little bit powerful, so I'm not getting the feeling to the first corner. I'm tending to sit still a bit, but you know, they're going good, and it's a case of me knuckling down really.
Sure, but early on you weren't getting the right starts. Personally, I felt that, you know, the toss was quite important, and we saw Eastbourne taking advantage of the 1 and 3 gate position early on, and now it's turning around, and it appears as soon as you've got those start positions, you've come back right back into the match.
That's it, you know, they're definitely the best pair of starts, so and that's proving, like early on they had it their way, and it just showed you there we pulled a couple of wins back, you know, purely probably because of gate positions.
Sure.
Do you think we're in for another classic Eastbourne Poole match? Because it's always good when you guys get together.
Yeah, well, not only are they a good team, they're so good around here, you know, so that's the problem.
All right, well, we'll let you get back.
Watson, the Aussie, is last to come up on the inside. Joe Screen, with a perfect record of 2 wins from 2 races so far, goes from gate 2. Gate 3 is occupied by Scott Nichols in red, and for Eastbourne on the outside is Petri Coco. Now, we've seen the situation here because Eastbourne provided lots of heat winners. In fact, they have provided 6 so far, but the last 2 have come from Poole. And I wonder what will happen now, because reserves are going to play a big part, and on the outside there is one of them, Petri Coco, alongside Scott Nichols. Nichols, of course, can only go as far as that white line there, and between that and the fence, that territory belongs to Petri Coco. Remember, there are 4 gates, and they're marked out at the starting gates. Hanging back from the tapes there, the blue helmet colours, blue number 4 there, that is Craig Watson, who's improved as the season's gone on and scored in all his 16 meetings for his team Poole Pirates. But now, this is heat number 9. Nervets are jangling. Our starting marshal Mike Berry walked away. Off by the tapes, line abreast into the first bend. But Joe Screen once again picks it up. The challenge from the outside in red is from Scott Nichols. Pressure now on the inside as Nichols relegated to last place because Petri Coco was doing something at the back. But now the Poole riders are in 2nd and 3rd place, and the man they're going to have to chase is a man with a 100% record so far, Joe Screen, and Scott Nichols is putting him under pressure here. A real race on our hands now, but Joe Screen is in the right place on the track, and where that is, he will stay in front.
Yeah, Tony, it's a good job we've got a wide track here at Poole, because we had 4 abreast there twice during that race, but just look, Scott Nichols, he's riding so hard here, trying to go past Joe Screen. Screen is too wide and Scott Nichols has gone through.
The cheers of the Poole fans as Scott Nichols picks it up. Screen will have to come back. If it stays like this, Poole will level it, because this will be a 4-2 to them. What a meeting we have on our hands, and what a ride, as Scott Nichols takes the checkered flag ahead of Joe Screen and Craig Watson. 4 points to to 2, levels it up at 27 points apiece. We knew we'd have a great meeting. This is a great speedway meeting. The crowd are enjoying it. Scott Nicholls' second successive heat victory, a timely one for Poole, and a marvellous move on that last lap to give him the 3 race points.
Then he takes that inside line. Now he gets some really good grip low down. There's not a lot of grip down there, but Scott's found some, just enough to sneak past Joe Screen.
Well, Joe Screen didn't quite get there, but Scott Nicholls did, and Scott Nicholls is now with Susie Perry.
Well, Scott, you've either got it or you haven't, and tonight I have to say you have got it, haven't you?
Seems to be working good. Just you know, Craig was sort of up the inside as well, and I think we was both sort of after the same bit, and you know, which was good really, because obviously Joe didn't really know where to go, inside or out, and I mean, just to make a good move up the inside again and manage to work for him just enough to get in front and get a win. So it's an important race for us.
Absolutely imperative, and a tremendous race as well. I mean, you were actually, I think you went from 4th to 1st, and you were in every different position in that race, so to end up winning was tremendous.
Yeah, it's, like I said, you know, we're sort of down. I think that brings us level now. I think, I'm not sure.
It's at 27 points apiece, so you just beat old Joe Screen there to level it off.
That's it, you know, it's nice to beat him, and so now we're level, we can pull in front.
Are you still on your second bike, by the way?
Yeah, the first one sort of died on me, so I ain't really got no choice, and it's working good, so let's hope it carries on.
Should try that more often. Anyway, well done, great racing, absolutely brilliant to watch. Thanks very much, Scott. Let's go.
Inside Lars Gunnestad in blue goes for Poole. Gate 2, the Grand Prix rider from Swede, Stefan Danner for Eastbourne in yellow. Gary Havelock for Poole in red goes from gate 3, and on the outside, Eastbourne's David Norris wears the white helmet colours. A reminder, the home men, that's Poole riders, wear red and blue helmets throughout the meeting. Eastbourne riders, the away team, the white and yellow and black. A massive crowd at Wimborne Road. 9 heats gone, it is dead level here. A tremendous speedway meeting. The title hopes of Eastbourne could rest on this one. If they fail to win here, they've still got work to do, but a tremendous crowd on a marvellous, balmy summer's night. It may be the end of August, but it's one of the best nights we've had, and a tremendous meeting here at this stadium. Riders pulling back here. I just wonder, Peter Gainsborough coming into play.
Yeah, Tony, we're having just a fantastic match here. I mean, when you get as close as this, we've now got the real closeness of this match. The crowd are just on the tender hooks. Unbelievable.
Here we go then, our starting marshal faces away, can't fly the tape. Lars Gunnestad tries to keep it down. Stefan Danner with the yellow helmet colours picks it up. Tail off at the rear is David Norris, who has work to do. A battle out front, Gunnestad in blue. The 2 Scandinavians are flying. Dano is going wide. Dano is picking up more grip and trying to catch him for Eastbourne. He will have to pick his part of the track, but look at this, because Havelock comes through. Dano goes again, a real battle in second place. Another tremendous race, but if it stays like this, Poole will go in front. Dano's got a lot to do.
Yeah, if you notice, Havelock knows that inside line like the back of his hand. He's just plugging away there on the inside, trying to get past Stefan Dano.
David Norris at the back, can't do it, but look at the cheers of the crowd, because line abreast in second place. Dano in the yellow helmet, Havelock in the red helmet colour. Dano on the outside, picks up the grip, gains a fractional advantage behind Lars Gunnestad. Gunnestad will win this and take the checkered flag. Second place goes just in yellow to Stefan Dano. Third place in red to Gary Havelock, a third successive heat victory for the home team by 4 points to 2. They now lead by 31 points to 29. They've turned round a 10-point deficit to a 2.
Feet on the ground from there onwards. It was.
Oh, don't be like that. Don't be boring.
No, it's one of the things. I had no pressure on me. I went there. Unfortunately, Mark's got all the pressure on him now, and I went there, enjoyed myself. It's been done. Got a t-shirt and come away.
Oh, you're so cool, aren't you? I mean, the first British guy to win the British GP. That must have meant a lot to you.
Yeah, I think it's something in history that's always goes down, whether people like it or not, and I think it upset a few people, but at the end of the day, that's their problem, not mine.
Well, what do you care about that, eh? Cool cucumber, from one to another, Mark Laram. Of course, a weekend coming up in Denmark, but just before we get to that, oh, see you, Martin. Just before we get to that point, British Grand Prix was also a great night for you and went away leading the championship by 4 points.
Yeah, that's it. It's a long way over yet. I'm not making any predictions. As usual, I'm just going to go there and get on with my job. And hopefully, if I do my best, which I've been doing up till now, then that'll be good enough. Anything less than that ain't going to be. So
Well, anything less than your best mark isn't going to be good enough at the end of the day, is it? But there are people that may have looked at you tonight and thought, you know, what really have you got? What's your motivation tonight to go out and win when you could, you know, relax a bit before the GP? But you've proved them wrong, haven't you?
Yeah, I know. You know, I mean, you got to try and you know, be as careful as you can. You know, it's not no motorsport. You're not there to be careful. You're there to race. And I'm the kind of person that every time I put my leg over a bike, I want to just ride it hard and race. So, you know, the rest of it's just in my genes, I suppose. I just get on with my job and then you know, just enjoy it.
It's great to watch you riding because, you know, you are an out-and-out racer, and also Scott now in the Poole side. He's quite similar to you. There are similarities between the pair of you, aren't there?
Yeah, Scott is very much like me. He's a fighter. You know, he rides it to the bitter end, and you know, a great rider for the future. You know, certainly when I'm old and grey, I'll be able to sit down and hopefully watch Scott winning meetings on telly.
He's not that much younger than you. Anyway, I think, are you in the next heat?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and also Martin's in the next heat.
That's right, yeah.
So big competition. I'll let you go and get yourself sorted out. All right, thanks very much. Cheers, Martin.
Paul Hurry for Eastbourne in yellow. From the inside, the flyer, Mark Laram for Poole, goes from gate 2 in red. Martin Dugard, unbeaten so far, in white for Eastbourne, gate 3. From the outside is the Poole reserve, Alan Rossiter. A second place in the reserves heat. Remember, he hasn't ridden since then. He has to have 3 rides, so he needs this and 1 more. Fellow reserve Emil Lindquist too has to have 1 more. Both Eastbourne reserves have already had 3 rides, and Petricoca can take the remainder as the better of the 2 reserves. But at 31.29, still anything can happen with 5 heats to go, many of them featuring the big guns, and they don't come any bigger than that man in red, Mark Laram. Mike Berry is the man in the checkered outfit as the start marshal here at Wimborne Road. Dugard and Laram are next to each other in the centre of this quartet. The fans here are still anticipating even more action. They look down to the electric magnets and up by the tapes and away they go. This time Mark Laram has made it, pursued by Martin Dugard. Dugard is going on the inside, Laram on the outside. It's line abreast at the back with the drop being gained by Alan Rossiter, but Hurry coming through. If it stays like this, the point to be shared. Mark Laram in red out front with a lap and a quarter gone. It's going to take some catching. And now coming through the inside of the back, and this could turn the meeting to Alan Rossiter. The 2 at the back are battling. It's decided out front, I think, but at the back is where it's going to be decided. And those 2 are really racing. Paul Hurry of Eastbourne has got in front at the back of that man, Alan Rossiter. But out front, the Ram is stretching his lead ahead of Martin Dugard. And if it stays like this, it'll be a share of the points. But Mark Laram is looking faster with every turn of the wheel.
I think we're going to get a Mark Laram win here, but it was really important for Alan Rossi to grab that 3rd place. But he had a good attack there, but he's now dropped right to the back, and last place for Alan.
Well, there we go. Mark Laram, a comfortable winner ahead of Martin Dugard and Paul Hurry. That means a split of the points. It keeps the margin at 2 points. It's Poole leading by 34 points to 32 with 4 classic heats still to come. And Mark Laram there in winning that heat has provided his 2nd heat victory of the night and yet another double-figure score. He's now got double figures in 17 successive Elite League meetings.
Goes right back to the inside. Now just watch him now. He catches a lot of grip low down, shuts the gate there on Paul Hurry, goes by him into 3rd place, but Paul Hurry's having none of that. He comes back at Roscoe, catches Roscoe in the middle of the corner, and then accelerates off for 3rd place.
Well, certainly the battle at the back counted, and Alan Rossiter, the man in blue, in the end beaten into last place. And certainly Alan Rossiter, the victim of that, was going to go by, but it's all gone to Paul Hurry. And I think Susie Perry has someone interesting in the pits. Susie.
Right, Mark, no worries.
Martin, come down here. Let's see if we can sort this out. What's the problem? Obviously a battle going on here, so just from your side.
Well, I don't really know. I was in front of Alan and he says that, well, ask Alan first and I can come right, because I don't know what's the matter.
Okay, Alan, I know that was a really important heat for you. How do you see it? What's the problem?
we was having a good race, fair and square, but when he went in the corner, he looked round and see I was there, and he just stopped dead. And if I hadn't stopped at him, I'd have just gone straight through him. Now, if that's what he wants, and next time I don't give a shit, I'll go straight through him. No problem at all. But if you want to race, you don't stop dead like that. If I hadn't literally I just missed his back wheel as it was.
Okay, I think we might just be able to see it, but Martin, any recall of that?
Well, as far as I was aware, I wasn't in the wrong. If Alan says I've done that, what can I do? Don't forget, pick your dummy up, Alan. It's on the floor.
Okay, can we see this on a monitor at all?
Clever.
I wonder if we can go and have a look at the monitor. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me. Okay, that was an absolutely imperative heat, and obviously Alan is devastated that he didn't get the third place. We're just watching it on the monitor now. Let's just see if we can see it. Okay, so there it is. Talk us through that.
Well, I missed the first bit, but like as I come in the corner, Martin, so as I went into the corner, I hadn't seen the beginning of it. But I mean, you know, we don't mind racing, but he literally stopped dead. And I mean, when you're going at that sort of speed, okay, yeah, it's a team event, and you've got to try and help your partner. But I mean, that was just, you know, I was just.
Martin, were you here in time to see that?
Well, I saw us coming out of this turn. I've looked over my right-hand shoulder. I've ridden down the middle of the track. No, knowing Alan's there, but I haven't locked up. I've just carried on going. But at the end of the day, if Alan's upset about it, there's nothing I can do about it.
Okay, hang on a minute. I think we're going to see that. Alan, just come back. We'll see. Let's see if we can just see that again, so we can clear this up once and for all. I think that's probably the best thing to do. There you go, Roscoe.
No, not at all.
What do you think?
Look different here?
Oh.
Look different?
Not much. Wow, that's racing, isn't it?
Does it not look there as it did look on the track when you were actually doing it?
Not really.
Nothing looks the same on camera.
No.
But I can understand from Alan's point of view him being upset. But I think that's more frustrated that he went from where he was to last place.
Okay, it was very. Can we, Alan? Can we do a bit of a handshake here? Martin. Okay. No, I want to do this. Please don't leave me yet. Hang on a minute. Can we just clear this up and do a handshake? Right, thank you very much. Okay, Jonathan. Another Speedway.
It's all love and war. Yeah, it's all love and hate.
Heat 12 sees Patrick Coco for Eastbourne on the inside in yellow. In red, Scott Nicholls for Poole goes from gate 2. David Norris for Eastbourne in white is in gate 3. And Emil Lindquist, the Poole reserve on the outside. The riders pulling back from tapes. Remember, a 2-point margin the way of the home team, Poole. They lead by 34 points to 32. There's this and 3 more heats to go. The meeting boiling up, confirmed by Peter Ansell, the Poole Speedway manager here, is the biggest crowd this season here at Wimborne Road. And, well, they struggle to get in, they struggle to get out. They're enjoying the Speedway. Up flying the tapes away on the inside in yellow goes Patrick Coco. The man in white, David Norris, takes his man in blue, Emil Lindquist wide, but now Scott Nicholls picks it up ahead of Coco. He's got the inside, leading Poole. Eastbourne now have to operate team riding, and the man in white, David Norris, will try and keep Lindquist at the back, while the battle is joined up front, and Scott Nicholls moves away.
Yeah, Scott Nicholls is having a good ride. If it stays like this, it'll be another drawn heat with Poole still 2 points ahead. But it's certainly very, very tight. We need some heat advantages for the result to change, Tony.
A grandstand finish in prospect, but with here a lap and a half to go. Scott Nicholls in the red helmet colour there in front of the man in yellow, Patrick Coco in second place. David Norris is third. Emil Lindquist, who so far is pointless tonight with 2 retirements, looks as if he will fail to get in from this as well. A wheelie from Scott Nicholls down the back straight indicates that perhaps he's comfortable, that he has already won it, and he has. Of the Eastbourne pairing in yellow, Patrick Coco, and in white, David Norris. A second successive share of the points. It's now 37-35 in favour of Poole with 3 heats to go. And Scott Nicholls there has won his 3rd successive heat here and will be delighted with that performance, as were the crowd, as he finished ahead of the Eastbourne pairing. Disappointment at the back for Emil Lindquist.
All of you, but especially you doing a great job out there.
Yes, seems to be going good at the moment. A bit bad luck early on, like I say, we was 10 down, which is a lot, you know, and against the league leaders. So, you know, I think we've done brilliant to come back.
How much has the track changed? Because obviously you were doing quite a bit of buckarooing there.
Yeah, it's, when I had my last ride on the outside, I was working a little bit, and then I suppose I probably if I'd gone out there, I'd have probably held the lead, but didn't really feel confident. It's got quite slick now, and I think maybe in hindsight I should have altered my bike a little bit for that race, but you know, I missed the start as well. So if I've got another one, then I think I've got to do some work.
Sure, you rode well then. Petrie popped out the start, didn't he? And you immediately sort of turned back up the inside. It seems to be a favourite move for you tonight.
Yes, I mean, here as well, the first turn, I mean, I've done it many times for you, mate.
Here is the start.
Yeah, and Petrie's made it, and he instantly doesn't move wide, but he just goes on the racing line. There's fresh dirt around the inside, and the sticky bit coming out just gives you enough speed.
Do you feel that's something that, like you as a home rider, would have as an advantage over an away rider?
Yeah, I think it's an advantage, possibly, but obviously it'd be silly for me to say too much here, because other people will watch it and they'll know.
All right, well, listen, we'll let you get back to the pits and prepare yourself for the next one if you've got one. Well done to Scott Nichols. The next heat.
And sees Gary Havelock, the Poole captain, on the inside in gate 1. Martin Dugard, the Eastbourne captain, in white, goes from gate 2. Mark Naram, the Grand Prix leader for Poole, goes in blue. He's in gate 3, and on the outside, it's Joe Screen. And last time Joe was there, well, he shot across and led all the way. This could be a tremendous race.
Yeah, just look at Gary Havelock right down on gate 1. He's almost on the grass. Just look at that there. The start marshal's probably not noticed that, but down there, no one's used that bit. There's some brand new grip right down low. So you can see what Gary's thinking. He's going to make the start. Even if he misses it, he's going to ride right round the inside on the first turn and see what points he can pick up.
Well, he's got Martin Dugard right next to him, and he's no slouch at the start, so it's going to be interesting.
Well, if Martin leaves a bit of a gap on the inside, Tony, Gary will be through it. So Martin's really got to shut Gary down on the inside.
There is Martin Dugard. Gary Havelock used to be an Eastbourne rider. He rode for Eastbourne when they were down here a few years ago. And certainly Poole's ever biggest win that was that night against Eastbourne. And now this is a special occasion, and this is heat 13 in this special occasion, a special heat as well. Gary Havelock, Martin Dugard. Blue Mark around on the outside in yellow and screen, but look at the front, Gary Havelock, it's Martin Dugard and picks it up. His teammate Joe Screen is working at the back, but Martin Dugard leads the way ahead of Mark Laram. Laram will have to do one of his classic battles from behind, and is doing just that. Martin Dugard cuts across him. Gary Havelock's on the inside, but here goes Laram. Laram and Dugard, wheel to wheel. I wonder if Joe Screen will find space at the back, but Martin Dugard is holding it here with half the race gone. There's plenty more to come.
Yeah, Martin's holding on to that lead. He's got everybody breathing down his tail there. You can see that Marlaram is going very, very wide. He's trying that outside run. Gary Havelock's plugging away on the inside. They're coming at him from all angles here, Tony.
Into the last lap. Dugard's held it all the way, but only just. The pressure could come on now. Havelock's having a go. Laram's having a go. If he knows where they are, Hurry could spring a surprise from the back, but Dugard is going to take this now. It does. Second place to Mark Laram in blue. Third in red goes to Gary Havelock. 3 points apiece the heat score. It's 40 points to Poole, 38 to Eastbourne. 2 heats to go. Eastbourne may have the better strength at the bottom end in the next heat, and then it will all go to heat 15. But that ride there by Martin Dugard was absolutely tremendous to provide him with his 3rd heat victory of the night. The British Grand Prix winner did exactly as he did at Coventry. He bows to the Poole fans. He knows that that was a tremendous ride ahead of 2 great riders in Mark Laram.
This is the start. Gary Havelock does make a good start off gate 1. There's no doubt about that. But just look in the centre of the picture where Martin Dugard is getting all that grip from. I just don't know, because he is riding where there's no dirt at all, but his bike seems to be just picking up grip. Mark Laram's out in the dirt. There we see 3 come onto the straight together, but Mark is having that outside run again. It comes pretty close here. Mark's pulling along the inside there of Martin Dugard, but Martin was just red hot.
Martin was red hot there, and 3 heats wins for him tonight. He's in the studio with Kelvin and Jonathan.
Yeah, I can tell you that Martin Dugard has got his blood group actually tattooed on his shoulder, but they're calling for it here at the moment. But he's doing exactly what he needs to, riding superbly. You did it again.
Yeah, having a good night at the moment. It's going to be right to the last wire, and that's not the way I like it, but that's it, the way it's going to be.
You obviously want Roscoe to have a go at you more often because you're riding superbly.
Well, I can't really understand what his problem was, and I think when Roscoe saw the video, I think he realised what dummy he made of himself. But at the end of the day, when the adrenaline's flowing and you do see things different, and I've been there, I've done it. But
Looked like there was some anger in that ride, to be quite honest. Almost like the incident with Alan. You sort of wanted to prove a point in that race, and you popped out the start and didn't put a foot wrong.
Here's the start.
It's very hard here with Mark. He's such a fantastic rider. That's why he's the best in the world. And I just sort of closed my eyes really and just held it open and just sat on it. And
you weren't tempted to go any wider?
No, not yet. I was quite happy just buzzing around where I was. I was going in a bit slower than I wanted to, but I could hear Mark, I could see Mark, and I could feel him.
Sure.
And he is hard work once he's behind you, you know it.
Yeah, but that was a stressful race.
And this is how close he did come, look.
Sure.
Yeah, I knew how close he was because I could hear him. But yeah, you got to give all credit to Mark. He looks as if he's going to win the World Championship. Well, I hope he does for all the English supporters and the people that support Mark, but he's a good rider, and to beat him around here is quite good.
And what about Eastbourne tonight, though? A win here so important. You've got the lead again, and you need this win for the Elite League, don't you?
Yeah, we're struggling. We're not struggling. We want to get as many points as we can just to make sure we don't have the last meeting of the year at home, because that will be big pressure, and we don't want to break under pressure.
Another big ride from you yet tonight?
Yeah, I suppose they put me in heat 15.
I was going to say,
I suppose so.
It looks like you're going to have to do that again in heat 15, so you up for it?
I have to be.
Right, we'll let you get back to the fence and rest up a bit.
Cheers. Well done.
All right, let's...
This is 5th ride of the night. But there's the lineup. Stefan Dano coming up in white for Eastbourne on the inside. Alan Rossiter, the Poole reserve, in blue. Gate 3, Petri Coco, the reserve for Eastbourne, in yellow. And on the outside, Craig Watson, the Aussie. And Craig, not a great night so far, just 2 third places from his 3 rides. Peter Collins, could Eastbourne get a heat advantage here?
It looks possible, Tony. It's going to be tough because, I mean, I wonder if Alan Rossiter really is going to go out and be fired up after that last incident. We know he was very upset about that, but when he saw it there, he realised possibly he was overreacting. So maybe, let's just hope he's fired up for this one, because if Poole are going to win, they've got to get a heat advantage, or at least a drawn heat in this one, Tony.
Well, here they go as they line up and tapes now, the penultimate heat of the night. That is Stefan Dano. We'll look over his shoulder. Alan Rossiter is pulling back. Roscoe, it says, on the back of his racing leathers. A publican by trade, the outskirts of Findon now. Still right speedway, though. They look down to the tapes, start to find the tapes, and away on the inside goes Stefan Dano. Round the outside goes Petri Coco. Alan Rossiter is holding it in 2nd place. Disappointment for Craig Watson at the rear. It will need some work now from Watson, but going wide is Petri Coco. Out front, the Grand Prix rider and track record holder here at Poole is Stefan Dano. Down goes Petri Coco, and that means that if he lays there, it will be tragedy, because a referee has stopped that. That will be to Poole's advantage, because surely he will exclude Petri Coco, and that will mean that Stefan Dano's effort out front will have to be repeated all over again, and that very, very unlucky for Eastbourne that Petri Coco looks shaken.
Yeah, I think the referee did get that one right. It was very, very close, because Craig Watson came under Petri Coco, pushed him a little bit wider than he wanted to be, but I think Coco really overreacted there. A lot of it was Coco's fault entering that pit's turn, and he is up on his feet, but I'm sure we've not seen the last of this, because he does not look happy whatsoever, and to be excluded, I don't think he can believe his luck that he's been excluded, because he feels that it was Craig Watson that brought him down.
Well, Petri Coco, the decision was going to be all sorts of problems here, because Eastbourne want to win. Petri Coco is adamant that it was Craig Watson that perhaps brought him down. I don't know if the referee has seen the replay, but certainly from our point of view, Eastbourne knows that Stefan Dano was out front.
Yeah, we can see what happened. Actually, the contact, we missed the contact there, but entering the turn here, look at the rider in red there. He does catch Coco entering the turn. Coco there at that point had corrected the bike. Really, he'd got over the incident, but he was heading in the wrong direction and let the bike go into the fence. Again, he's out there. We can see now that it's going to be, as they head towards the pit turn, see the rider in red, Watson, tangles slightly there with Coco down the straight. But at this point, Coco's corrected that. Coco seems okay here, but then he decides lay the bike down, possibly get Craig Watson excluded. That would be a 60-40. The referee was right as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Petri Coco is with Susie Perry.
Petri, disappointed, obviously.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised about the referee's decision. You know, Craig Watson, I was like turning the turn, Craig Watson ran into me and I fell off, but there you go.
So you don't really feel that you should be excluded?
Not at all, no.
Okay, Ollie, just grab Ollie while he's here. You were obviously watching that heat, so how did you see it?
Well, exactly like Petr said, he pushed him into the corner. He didn't have chance. He had to lay the bike down, otherwise he's got to go through the fence. The referee doesn't even want to look the replay in the television. What is it there for if he doesn't want to do that?
Well, this makes, of course, the rerun of the heat unfortunate, for your side, because now there's only a 3-point maximum you can get.
We get that all right.
But you could have done with 5, huh?
I know we would have, but Speedway.
Yeah, and the decision isn't going to change. So Petr, I'll let you get off the track, and we'll get sorted for the rerun. So
see Stefan Dano on the inside. Gate 2, Alan Rossiter. Gate 3, Petr Coco would have been there, but he's excluded. So Craig Watson on the outside in red now has plenty of space. And if Eastbourne are going to stay in this meeting, it means that Stefan Dano in the white helmet colour on the inside has got to win. He did all right in the first effort, but can he do it again?
Yeah, looking at this from Poole, what Poole have got to do is stop Stefan Dano making the start, because we know if Dano does make a start, no one's going to catch him, because he is the track record holder around this circuit, and he is very, very quick. So they've got to stop him on the first turn.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Dano has plenty of space. The 2 Poole riders are outside him. Dano gets it down. Dano gets to the first bend first. Takes Rossiter wide. Watson even wider. And now the Swede for Eastbourne leads the way down that back straight. He can be very, very fast. And with no mistakes here, he will ensure that it's a 3-all. And that's exactly what you said might happen, Peter.
Yes, Dano is so quick. He's riding the fast line. We've seen him in the GPs this year. Very, very fast when he gets out in front. But you pin him behind and he has a lot of work to do. He can't always find his way through, but certainly in this one,
we're going to the last heat if it's... We're going to the last heat if it stays like this, with Stefan Dano's effort, with Eastbourne 2 points behind. A 4-2 in the final heat would then make it level. A 5-1 would give Eastbourne victory. Plenty to race for yet, but there's still a lap in this heat now. As Stefan Dano in the white helmet colours leads down that back straight now with half a lap to race. Craig Watson is the man in second place for Poole, and he will have to be content with that second place. Alan Rossiter in third place will get 1 race point. That is 3 points apiece going into the final race at Poole 43. Eastbourne 41, a real grandstand finishing prospect here, because that effort from Stefan Dano provided his second heat victory of the night, took him to 8 points. He's playing his part, but with Petr Coco, red will go. Martin Dugard, though, won that heat 13 from that very gate 2, and he'd like to repeat it again. Gates could be crucial, because Joe Street goes to the outside, and there, well, just 1 heat has been won.
Yeah, this one's so exciting. It's all on this one, and Scott Nicholls on gate 1. I think that's where he wants to be. I think the Poole pairing have got this right, Tony, with Mark Ram on the outside.
Scott Nicholls then in red from the inside for Poole. Gate 2 for Eastbourne, Martin Dugard in white. Mark Ram in blue goes from gate 3, and on the outside, Joe Screen for Eastbourne in yellow. Eastbourne need a 5-1 to win the meeting. 4-2 to Eastbourne with tied up. Any other result will take it the way of Poole. It's all on heat 15. This heat now, 4 laps, a fantastic speedway, and Mark Ram has touched the tapes and was likely to be excluded, and he is. Real drama here, because they can introduce a reserve in this, Peter.
Yeah, Mark Laram's clutch has gone, actually. His clutch has just totally gone, and that's dragged him through the tape. On the start here, we can see on the inside Scott Nicholls, but on the outside in the blue there, look at Mark Laram. His clutch is dragging him into the tapes. Probably a spring's broken or a stud's broken in his clutch, and that's dragged the bike forward, and he's now rushing back to the pits. And it really all depends. Mark's been excluded, although he may be going on the 15-metre mark, because he can go back 15 metres. There, pointing at the clutch. He's got a big job to do now on the clutch. He'll possibly have to change bikes, Tony.
Well, the choice they have is a reserve for Mark Laram to go 15 metres back. And we understand from the pits and Neil Middleditch, the Poole team manager, that Mark Laram will go from 15 metres back in this heat. And that, of course, will be a handicap. Well, we know he can make it sometimes, Peter. He does it in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, that was very unfortunate for Mark, because there's no way he was actually wanting that.
I wonder what will happen there, because Peter, his point of view, he's getting ready to go again, so it looks as if they've done something to that clutch.
Yeah, well, there are 6 springs in that clutch, and they're all on a stud, and if one of those breaks, the balance goes completely. If it is that stud that's broken, it's not something that they can fix in 2 minutes, but something there's gone. Maybe it's the clutch push rod that's gone and allowed all the tension to disappear, so maybe it's something they can fix. They look as though they are trying to fix it, so that could be the answer for them.
Well, of course it helps, because it now means that Martin Dugard will have to move across. And we know that originally they will move across. They have to have alternate gate positions, and that advantage has gone Eastbourne's way, because it now means they get 1 and 3, Peter.
Yeah, they do, and that's going to make some difference. But Mark Laram, you know, he often gives the riders a start anyway. So, you know, maybe we're really going to see Mark Laram at his best tonight. And what really seems to get me is that he's leading the World Championship. He's got the Danish Grand Prix on Saturday, and he just rides his heart out every time he goes out.
Well, this perhaps could turn the league well and truly Eastbourne's way if they can get a 5-1 out of this, because even Mark Laram might struggle against this field to go from 15 metres back. Remember, he's racing against, well, I think that Scott Nichols, his teammate, will have to do something about holding people up out front, and Scott Nichols goes from gate 2 now between Martin Dugard and Joe Screen, Peter. Now gets gate 3, Martin Dugard going back. Mark Laram is going to have to sit there and wait while they get their goggles in place, because clearly the humidity here is telling and misting things up. But we're all 18 metres, he mustn't creep. Our starting marshal will walk away and does. Up fly the tapes, away goes the Eastbourne man in Joe Screen. Screen is out front, Dugard's in second place, Scott Nichols is there, Laram is way back. Now for Eastbourne to win this, Martin Dugard has to get by the man in red, Scott Nichols. Nichols is going wide and picking up the grip. Screen is out front, Laram may be catching them.
Yeah, and also Nichols is really catching Screen as well, so it's all on, everything to go for right now, Tony.
With just over 2 laps to go, Nichols is going round the outside, Joe Screen's in front. If it stays like this, the match will be drawn. The fans are raving the roof of the stand, but look at Scott Nichols. Nichols is picking up the grip. Joe Screen is going to have to go wide and block him. Nichols goes round the outside. Nichols gets the cheers of the Poole fan. Joe Screen will have to come back again. At the back, Mark Laram has stopped, but this will be enough to give victory to Poole Pirates, and Eastbourne are defeated in this one. Scott Nichols wins it ahead of in yellow Joe Screen, in white Martin Dugard. 3 points apiece, 46-44 is the victory. The Poole fans are ecstatic. Eastbourne still have a lot to do. They've got the bonus point, but they've lost this by the narrowest possible margin. And a great ride by that man, Scott Nichols. His 4th successive heat victory has taken Poole to victory here for the first time against Eastbourne this season. They've won by 46 points to 44. We've seen fireworks on and off the tracks. A marvellous performance. What a great result for Poole. The heat won by Scott Nichols ahead of Joe Screen and Martin Dugard.
The crowd is unbelievable for that man, Scott Nichols. Fabulous ride there to go round the unsuspecting Joe Screen. Joe was really flying, but Scott Nichols just zoomed round the outside of him on the 3rd lap.
Well, a tremendous speedway meeting, just 2 points in it and all on the final heat. Eastbourne may be league champions yet, but tonight it's Poole that are the victors. To the studio with Jonathan and Kelvin.